You know, I wanted to come back and do a scene with a little class, a little dignity, Joe Cocker, Samurai, a bee, a cheeseburger scene. Something that was good, something that was well written, but no. I gotta come back and do a cheap seance sketch.
John, is there anything else you have to say to us?
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Hello and welcome to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. We're Gary Seath and Brad Robinson.
And you're not.
This week on the early years of SNL, we're talking about Season 5, Episode 14, the 100th episode.
100.
This show has no host, but it does have musical guests Paul Simon,
Many.
James Taylor.
More than you can shake a stick at.
Oh, I got to get a stick. And David Sanborn. This show originally aired on March 15th, 1980. Brad, we did it. We made it to the end, right? This is the end?
I think. Yeah, because I believe this is, if this all times out correctly, this is the same week as SNL's 1000th episode. So see, it's all synergy, Gary. It all comes
That's right.
together.
Yes. We planned this
Or in
perfectly.
our case, pure dumb luck. Yeah. 100, baby.
100. That means we've done 100 episodes of the early years of SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yeah, way to go, guys.
Amongst other things.
Follow us as you're listening, rate and review. You know the trick. Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, they've heard it 99 times.
Oh, God,
This is an interesting show. No host.
no.
That's a way to do it, I guess.
That is a way to do it. It has been done and will be done from time to time, but it is a way. I agree.
And 3 musical guests. So you have your old standby Paul Simon come back.
Of course.
Makes sense. Sure. James Taylor,
JT, why not?
friend of the show, and David Sanborn.
Who's in the band. So he's
Part of
already
the
there.
band.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's easy.
he's there.
We
And a
also
shit
get
ton
some
of cameos.
Yeah, we get some cameos, some fun cameos, and some unexpected cameos, honestly, when they finally show up, that we'll get to.
Yeah.
And some that we didn't even really know in, 2025 when we watched this, who they were.
Wonder how much they knew then. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is an interesting episode, especially because you look back now and we're used to anniversaries.
Right.
15 years, 40 years. So the fact that they bill this as the 100th episode, I feel like now you look back and you're expecting something.
Yeah.
And there's less than something. It's not nothing, but there's no acknowledgement really. And they go one more step and have no host.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the weird acknowledgement, right? Is like, oh, we're doing this show differently for some reason with no host.
And I think they start out well in that vein. Because I feel like if you're not going to have a host, great, this makes sense. Let's shine a light on the show, on the cast. And they do that in the cold open.
Yep.
But then I don't think they do that anymore.
I mean, there are some sketches where it's just the cast, but then they bring in these cameos, like you said.
But you've had those in the past. Like, I feel like the cold open is the only sketch to me that like threw a flag up of like, hey, look at what we're doing. Here's something special, because it was the last remaining original. That's what I took from that cold open. Here's our last original, not ready for primetime players that are still here. They're going to kick things off. And if you kept with that of like, and they kind of do, like Bill gets the monologue, you give Harry something, like it would have been fun to kind of almost do a greatest hits without doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially with some of these people you have come back. You could have done that as opposed to some of the other things they did that if you're going to label this, hey, it's our 100th, takes away from the specialness of it all.
Yeah, I was expecting more recurring characters, and we got a couple.
Sure. Yeah.
But I was expecting some more from the current cast. Like, I understand not wanting to do recurring characters of people who come back in this time period. I understand what you're saying, but I also understand why they wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
But I think putting this show together just feels very strange to me, because it is like, they mentioned it on last week's show when they said we're going to be celebrating the 100th show, right?
Yeah, they made a point to say, hey, here's our 100th episode. It's obviously a thing that they're addressing.
Right.
To the point of which they made a point to not have a host, which they have not done up to this point in the show's history of not having. They've not had a musical guest, but to not have a host. So obviously they're, again, calling attention to the fact.
Right. It's something different, which in and of itself is unique. In the last 3 seasons, we haven't done anything outside the norm, really, other than, maybe a musical guest gets 3 numbers or 1 number, like not straying from the formula that they pretty much nailed down in season 3 or late season 2. And that's part of the uniqueness of this, I guess. But it's an odd episode to call out as being your 100th and then just kind of like sweep that under the rug for some reason.
Yeah. Though it is still memorable. We get some historic moments, right? We get the show's first F-bomb. Not bad.
Yeah.
We get...
That wasn't planned.
No, but it happened. I'm just saying it happened.
Yeah.
We get the first... Oh, no. I was going to say first cast member returning a cameo, but Chevy kept showing up the second half of season 2. So that doesn't
Chevy wouldn't leave.
This is, fun fact, this is the last time we see Lorne Michaels on camera during the original era.
Well, all right.
Yeah. We don't see him again till he returns. Not that we saw him that much this season.
No, we haven't.
So there's a few things, but yeah, it's an interesting way to celebrate 100.
It is.
Especially when I think all involved didn't know how much farther past 100 they would go.
Well, should we just get into it?
Let's do it.
So the cold open starts with a seance hosted by Garrett, and he was there with Lorraine, Jane, and Gilda. Like
Gilda's
you said,
got the robe on again.
Yes.
They must have given them out to everybody. It's like 3 weeks in a row. Gilda's wearing that robe.
You're right. It is now the 3rd week. That's funny. They are the only 4 cast members that have put on the 99 shows to this point. And they're trying to summon the past, I guess. I forget how he even says it.
I will say, ballsy opening the show with Garrett having so much dialogue.
Yeah, and it's
a bold move. It's a bold move, everybody.
Well, it's funny because his first 2 or 3 line readings, you're like, oh, all right, Garrett, you're on it. And then you're like, oh, wait, there we go.
No, because then Jane said something, and now you're watching Garrett act opposite Jane, and you're
That's
this
true.
is a lost cause.
That's what it is.
But I did have a very early note that I thought it was very cool that it was the last 4 original not ready for primetime players. Like, I took note of that, and I was like, I love that they did that.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like they had to, right? Like, that totally makes sense with what they were doing. So they do a seance and they summon people from the past. And the first person that comes up is Mr. Michael O'Donoghue.
It feels like death in here.
Which is funny because that's exactly how the crowd reacted. There was no reaction to Mr. Mike being in there.
I'm going to bring this up in a few minutes, but keep going because I noticed it, but I have a thought.
Okay. Everyone there is kind of disappointed that it's Mr. Mike that they've summoned.
I think Gilda sums it up best when Garrett tries, does anybody have any questions? And Gilda says something like, you summoned him, you talk to him.
Yeah, and Mr. Mike's only comment really is, since I left, the show sucks rubber ducks.
No, since I left, the show sucks rubber donkey lungs.
That's what he said? Sounded like rubber ducks to me.
No,
which
because
it's
a quote he had done, I believe, in the press quite frequently.
Okay.
And I think he even calls back to it when he comes back next season for the one episode in season 6 when he starts writing again. But it's the sucks rubber donkey lungs was a Michael O'Donoghue classic.
I really liked Lorraine's comeback then when she was like, congrats on Mondo Video.
It was great. It was a great dig. It was really fun, yeah.
It was funny. It was funny how they all reacted to seeing Mr. Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And then he disappears, and then they're starting to summon someone else, and the spirit starts talking through Jane, who in her, being summoned, being talked through by this other whatever, she starts talking like the samurai, and you don't really realize it at first, but then we see John in the crystal ball. Sorry, I forgot to mention that we see Mr. Mike in the crystal ball.
Yes, that is to my point. So yes, very good. Thank you.
Yeah. And then we see John come up in the crystal ball. And now there's a reaction from the crowd.
But that takes a little while. And this is my note. I wonder, were him and O'Donoghue in front of the audience?
Right.
Or were they like backstage in front of a green screen? Because as you always say, the audience in the studio is watching small TVs. Maybe they couldn't tell who it was right away. Because John doesn't, you would think John would get a huge response.
Yeah.
And he does not. And that made me think they weren't on like another side stage where everybody could see them, and it was a surprise to them. And it took the audience in the studio time to figure out what the hell was actually going on.
Right. It's that technical piece that, 1980, it's probably, that's a good point. Well, John now is speaking to them through the crystal ball, and he's saying how he wanted to come back and do something that was well written, like a samurai sketch or something. And then we get the classic, but no.
And then they applaud. There you go.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which I kind of liked, because the whole idea of just getting applause for just walking on the stage isn't a thing yet. Like, you had to earn your adulation a little bit. And so just the fact that John shows up, they don't clap. Now, granted, he gives a cheesy catchphrase, and that's what does it. But the fact that he just can't walk on and the place erupt into applause, I did appreciate in hindsight looking back.
This is before we as a society gave everyone participation trophies, right?
Right.
It's the same thing.
True. That's
it's
true.
Like, walking on and getting applause is your participation trophy.
Yeah.
None of that in 1980.
Yeah, earn your fucking laughs.
We as child of the 80s know this. We didn't get trophies for every year we played T-ball.
Well, you wouldn't know.
I was a great baseball player. And then John gets the live from New York.
Yeah, which, as much as I love John, I would have much rather seen the group get it. And the group meaning not him, the other four.
Yes, I agree.
I felt it was kind of cheap to give it to him.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting cold open to our, what we were saying. It's like, it's something different for the 100th episode.
Mm-hmm. As a sketch, I'd say okay. It's an okay sketch. It's very pointed in what they want to do. I think highlight the originals. And as we've said ever since John and Dan left, even Chevy left, they never let go of the past. So it's kind of fitting that this is how they open the show and kind of acknowledge and wink back to the past with those two. So it works.
So why not Dan? Why only John?
Well, I mean, you're the one, I believe, who said this, when Dan left very last minute. Dan was always supposed to come back, and Lauren, I think, was very upset that he did not come back. The fact that Dan Aykroyd did not come back for season 5 is, as we've been seeing, I think one of the reasons why season 5 has struggled is we've seen the very big hole that is Dan Aykroyd and how hard that is to fill.
Right.
I believe when we talked about at the beginning of the season, even Lauren wanting to come back, he was only coming back, or one of the main reasons coming back was that Dan was going to be there. And so he took it very personally that Dan at the last minute backed out. So they're not on good terms. I don't think Lauren wants Dan coming back at this point. Your boy Lauren.
I know. He gets so butthurt. It's been 6 months. He's, everyone's moved on with their life. You're still getting paid, Lauren.
Yeah.
Just say, all right, like, you did your thing. Now, well, come back and celebrate the 100th episode. But
I agree with you. It would have been nice to see Dan. Chevy just came back And it did not go well. So I'm not surprised to not see Chevy here.
That's what's funny is when I wrote that note of like, I wonder why not Dan. And then I wrote, why not Chevy? And then I crossed it out and I was like, wait, I know why. Because we just
saw please Chevy. See 4 episodes ago.
Yeah, we just saw that car crash that was Chevy hosting. So
Bert Convey is still at home shaking right now. He's like, fucking
Chevy. Yeah. Well, it's a bummer we didn't get to see Dan. That would have been fun.
I agree.
Then for our monologue, we don't get, because we have no host, there's no one to come out and do it.
Well, we get a new home base. That's what you get. You get a new home base.
Brand new home base, which you don't realize is home base at first because Bill comes down in a suit and tie with a briefcase and starts doing a musical number on a subway set. And he even calls out that it's a subway. So it kind of looks like
takes a minute to get into the subway set. He's got to like fight his way through the turnstile to get in.
Right. That's right. He sings a song about living in New York City and how great it is and taking the express to his studio apartment that he pays $155 a month for in his rent-controlled studio apartment in New York City.
Must be nice.
Right? I was surprised, one, that this was just Bill by himself doing a musical number about New York City, but two, how long it was, actually.
Very long.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised it was Bill because to me it made sense as I'm trying to follow what I thought was the narrative of this episode, which you do the cold open and you have the 4 originals.
Yeah.
What do you do next? And if you have no host, who does your monologue? Bill is obviously the most charismatic cast member you have right now. And it's Bill Murray. He's probably the most successful right now. So it's not surprising of keep Bill out of the cold open, but give him his moment to shine in the monologue. So I understood the construct of it all. It made sense, right?
Okay.
And yet, I don't get this performance.
Right.
There's like a lot of yelling going on in this sketch. It's not a sketch. It's more like a... I did like how it was kind of a one-man show. It felt very kind of Second City, like black box-ish kind of performance. Yep. So I liked that. And to your point, he does reference the subway station, the new set. So that's kind of the impetus, I guess, of this piece. It's him waiting for the express train and causing him while he's waiting to sing about New York. But it's not Nick the Lounge Singer, which I think you would have wanted, which I'm sure Bill did not want to do.
Sure.
So he does something different. But yeah, it's just a weird piece. He does physical stuff which he's never done. He does like a flip, which reminded me of John doing King Bee back in the day. Okay, you got that too?
Yep. I did.
I don't know if that was or was not a nod to that, but it felt very much like John doing the flip during King Bee. But it's a lot of yelling and physical stuff, and it's just stuff we haven't seen a lot from Bill, which surprised me. I'm not saying I wanted Nick the Lounge Singer, but I feel like Bill could have sung a song and been more of what you wanted to see from Bill than what this was.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was an interesting piece to do though, instead of a monologue.
Yeah.
Because in theory, you could have just started the show and not had any monologue. You don't have a host, don't have a monologue.
Yeah, like if you're not doing a monologue, why do you have somebody come on and do a one-person bit on home base? If it's not a monologue.
That is different than them, right? Like, I don't know. If you had like a song and dance band, like, I'm just going to say this, like if Elliot Gould were there and did a song and dance number like that, it would be less jarring or less confusing, I think, than having Bill do it.
How funny would it have been if Elliot Gould came out unannounced, did a song and dance number, and then left and never came back the rest of the night? Would have been fucking great.
Great. Yes.
Great.
That would have been amazing. Right. Yeah. Or have someone come out and do stand-up. Like,
whoa, that would have been cool too. If you're going to pepper this thing with cameos, get one of your stand-up hosts to come on and do something. Sure.
Have George Carlin come back. He did the first show. Have him come back to do the 100th show. Just do a stand-up, give him 8
I think
minutes.
Lauren's still pissed at him.
Oh my God.
And by still, I mean today, not in 1980. I meant today.
Probably.
God rest his soul.
Yeah. Well, look, I think Bill was still good as Bill is, but it was an interesting monologue and not something. It was out of the ordinary, is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
This next piece was also out of the ordinary.
Speaking of out of the ordinary, I agree.
This is basically, it's a commercial for Horizon System 12, which is just like this grand TV with all of these speakers and all of this technology that they talk about in this giant case. This is like old school TV with the tube and everything.
Well,
and
we
it's
all
a
grew up with
200-pound cabinet. Yeah.
Like a TV in a cabinet. This is what we all...
Right.
We understand this. Right. But this feels like an actual commercial. I mean, you can't... It's very hard to tell if this is a parody or not. This is like a legit commercial.
Yes, it is. It's interesting because there's no... I mean, it is kind of over the top, everything that they're cramming into this TV. But it's not that clear that it's over the top.
It's not enough. Like...
Right. Maybe that's
this is based on, I think it's a Zenith system, whatever. But this is based on an actual commercial, and it's kind of like beat for beat to the T, almost exactly this Zenith commercial. And it's done so well that it's hard to tell that this is a parody, which is why I think the audience didn't really respond, because it felt like an actual commercial.
Yeah. To me, it reminded me of Dan. I was like, oh, this is like a piece that Dan would do or bring up.
I had the same note. I said, what would have been great is if Dan did the voiceover for this. This would have been that, and then you would have known. Then you would have known this is a parody because it's Aykroyd's voice. Right. That's how you would have known. But no, they get like a straight actor to do the voice straight, and it's... But, you know, like I said, I think Lauren is still upset with Dan. And you got to remember, even when Lauren comes back in season 11, Dan Aykroyd is not one of the first people who comes back to SNL, right?
Right.
Like, he does a cameo in season 13, but he doesn't come back for 5 years after that. He doesn't host until, what is it, oh my God. He doesn't host till season 28. That's how long it takes till Dan Aykroyd to host. Wow. There's a couple of those John Goodman episodes before then, but, you know, Chevy comes back in season 11. He comes back in season 12, as does Bill Murray. Gilda Radner was supposed to host in season 13 before the writer's strike. So even when Lauren came back, he was not, and Dan Aykroyd was very popular in the mid-'80s.
Yeah, but I feel like Dan Aykroyd also had moved on and was just like, he I don't know. I feel like I read somewhere that he's you know, busy reading about UFOs and shit, and then making vodka.
But I also feel like if someone would have tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I need your help," he would come. And Lauren wouldn't do that. We're like, you know, like he's not at the same level as Bill Murray, I think, in the mid '80s. But you know, I'm just saying, like, I think it took a while for that cut to heal between the two of them. And to your point, Dan didn't need it to heal. So he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to go do my stuff.
Right.
And when Lauren's finally like, hey, would you do this? Hey, you want to come? Then he shows up.
I mean, Dan didn't come back for the 50th, right?
No. Yeah. He was like, I don't. And he didn't have a good reason. He's like, I'm not going to come. What am I going to do?
Right. I've done it all. Like,
like I'm fine.
He's got other things in his life to fulfill him.
Yeah.
That lucky son of a bitch.
At least somebody does.
Well, then we go to our next cameo is New York Senator Daniel Moynihan. Brad, are you familiar with Daniel Moynihan?
Bobby's dad? No?
No. So Daniel Moynihan was a Democratic senator from New York, the state where you live. You don't know this?
No. I wasn't here then.
No. He was in office from 1977 until 2001. He finally left office. And he was succeeded by Hillary Clinton. That's your history lesson on Senator Daniel Moynihan.
Didn't vote for her either.
But
I did for president. We all saw how that worked out, so.
Yeah. I'm not going to veer us too far off track here. I'm just going to keep
going
going straight ahead with my notes.
Hurry up. Peter Ackroyd's going to come on set eventually.
Senator Daniel Moynihan comes on to read us The Biggest Leprechaun.
I thought you were going to say the biggest intro in SNL history. Because it is long.
It is long. Yeah. So he's telling us the story of the biggest leprechaun, and then we go and we see all the leprechauns dancing around a milk jug because they're all smaller than a milk jug, except for the biggest leprechaun, Peter Ackroyd, who plays Sean, the biggest leprechaun who keeps getting caught. They also call him fat, and I'm like, Peter Ackroyd is not fat, but okay. How tall is Peter Ackroyd? Do we know? Is he taller than you are?
I doubt it, but I don't know. I don't
just compared to everyone
else. Not ready for this question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dude's 5'10".
No, he's 5'10".
Dude's 5'10", man. I mean, for Leprechaun, that's tall. I get it, but for
but like him next to everyone in this cast, how tall is Brian Doyle Murray? And I know Harry Shearer's short, but man, they look
probably like
very
5'6",
small
5'6".
next to
they do.
Peter
They do.
Ackroyd. Wow. So you're telling me the tallest person in the cast and in the writer's room was Peter Ackroyd at 5'10"?
Had to have been, yeah.
Wow. Bill's taller than that, though. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Bill is my height, actually. Bill's 6+. Yes, Bill and me are pretty close.
Yeah. Anyway, so the whole story is about Sean, the big fat leprechaun, keeps getting caught. So the leprechauns have to keep paying people pots of gold. So they're getting pissed. And they tell him he's too tall, too fat. And they tell him to slouch and go on a diet. But he can't do either of those things or doesn't do either of those things. So they kill him. And then we see him under this giant milk bucket.
Right. Because he gets caught by some lady and he owes her a bucket of gold. And finally, Harry Shearer's like, fine, give her the gold, give her the gold.
Right.
And then they cut back to Senator Moynihan for some reason. Well, I know why, but I was like, for some reason, but they cut back to him to continue this telling the story. And then, yes, when they then go back to the leprechauns, that's when Big Sean is dead under the milk jug.
Yeah.
Give them time to redress the set. And there's some type of song and dance they do around Big Sean.
Yep. So this is our first sketch of the night.
So, yeah. So, okay. Yeah, right. Here's our 100th episode. What do we kick things off with? Post-monologue? The biggest leprechaun? That's what you do?
Right.
Come on, everybody.
I don't know. Because at first I thought, maybe they had to get Senator Moynihan, maybe this was some sort of get for them and he had to leave. But no, because he shows up later in the show.
He has a curfew. He has to be up on midnight.
I don't know.
He turns into a pumpkin at midnight.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird sketch.
Do you see Carrie Fisher in there?
I didn't, but I saw that. I read later and then I went back and saw her. But no, that's a cameo,
right no.
But not really. That's it.
Well,
she's just in there with everyone else.
You know why?
Why?
It's the Shelley Duvall's move. If you're dating Paul Simon and he's on the show, you just show up in a sketch. Is what works.
She's dating Paul Simon at this time?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Jesus. That guy. Why wasn't he in this sketch? He is the size of a leprechaun.
He could have been the mayor of Munchkintown or Leprechaunville or wherever the hell they were.
Maybe he can't do an Irish accent. Not a great start, in my opinion.
No, I mean, my note after this was, what in the hell was that? I don't know where this was going. I don't know what the point of this was. Yeah, this is a bold way. Again, 100 episodes. You're not having a host, so you're obviously focusing on the cast and in theory on the show, right? Like if you don't have a host to draw your attention is to the show itself. And this is how you lead off. And I feel like we've said this a couple other episodes in the past.
Yeah.
Why is your next sketch the not thing you throw up first?
Well, that's
for
a really
several
great
reasons.
question. Yes. So our next sketch is our first recurring characters, and I thought we would see more of these, but we see the nerds. And they get a reception as soon as you see Gilda come in the door. She gets a reception because everyone knows.
This is what I was talking about last week. Where's Gilda? Give her like those characters to shine. I feel the audience agreed with me because, as you said, she couldn't even speak before they shut up.
Right. So she has come back from Todd's campaign rally, where she is the campaign manager, I believe. And he's come up with all these slogans like "Vote for Todd, he's a god." And she's talking to her mom, played by Jane, of course, brilliantly played by Jane. Talks about egg salad.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on Jane this scene. Oh, this sketch.
Why?
I'm watching Jane Curtin in this sketch.
Yeah.
How great is Jane?
She's amazing.
Like, I'm sorry. This is like perfect. She is such an amazing character actor, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. She also was in the last sketch and did a great Irish accent in that sketch. No, she was very good.
But I agree. Yes. But this sketch was me for whatever reason. I was like, one thing you can't argue with is that Jane is still great as Mrs. Loopner. And it felt like she just had a part and she nailed it. No matter what other nonsense is going on and whatever, it's just like, this is my job, this is my role, and I'm going to do it and do it well. And it's funny that it's like Mrs. Loopner, and this is what I'm like standing on my soapbox on. But fuck, Jane Curtin is great, and she is so good in this sketch for the 2 minutes she's in it.
She's great in this show. In this entire show, everything she's in is great. And most of the time, like a Weekend Update being the only outlier here, she's just minor characters, like you're saying, and she's brilliant in every one of them. Every time she plays Mrs. Loopner is brilliant. And this one, you're right. She like comes in, does her bit, and gets out and leaves you wanting more.
I feel like, you know what it is? It's season 5, and we haven't seen this. We've been talking, again, I brought it up a couple weeks ago, I think. Like, we're not seeing a lot of recurring characters lately. Right. It's a lot of one-offs and stuff. And so to see somebody just come in and do something so well and so perfectly, it's like, where is this? Like, where is this? Bring this back.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She's so good.
Jane. She's great.
And she has nothing to do with this sketch. No. And we keep talking about how good she is.
I know. She's just there so that Gilda can set it up for us and give us the exposition here. But then Paul and Lorraine come as Artie and Melinda. Give Paul Shaffer more screen time. And they come to tell her that she should leave Todd's campaign because he's, torpedoing it. And it turns out that Todd had to get a bodyguard. I did enjoy this part because the next person that come in the front door, knocks at the front door, introduces himself as Grant Robinson Jr.
Even before then, my note was, so Paul comes back as Artie because we saw him as play Artie at the nativity scene. And I think Gilda Live. I think he played Artie in Gilda Live as well. I
think you're right. Yeah.
And I think Lorraine might have been in nativity as well. But I was, great, they're bringing in more people. Bring back Grant Robinson Jr. And sure enough, he comes through the door, and I was so excited to see Garrett. I love him as Grant Robinson Jr. I don't know why, but I just do.
It's a part that he's really good at. He always introduces himself, and Gilda, as Lisa was like, you don't have to introduce yourself every time, Grant. Oh, it's so funny. And he's there. He scopes out the whole living room and the other rooms, and then he yells out to Bill that the coast is clear. He can come in. And finally, Bill comes in as Todd with new campaign slogans, and he's trying to get everyone on board. And it turns out that he mooned someone. So at some point, and this is what's going to be the big downfall of his campaign.
The mooning incident. Yes.
The great mooning incident of 78, I believe they called it. And finally, Harry comes in as Shelley Fabish, who I believe is his opponent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he has photo proof that it was Bill, that it was Todd that was mooning everyone in the Great Mooning episode of 78. And then Garrett, ever loyal Garrett, says, "Well, I'll just tell everyone it was me."
Oh, that. They're gonna say because Garrett tells him, "Don't worry, I'll guarantee you the black vote."
Yeah, and the joke being, there's that too.
Garrett is the black vote,
right?
Even goes like, "You are the black vote." The one dude.
Yeah. No, I thought this was fun. Like you're saying, it's a nerd sketch, but they bring in all these different players to play as nerds. I think everyone did a really good job as in that world. And it was a lot of fun to like mix it up a little bit.
I'm torn on this one because on one hand, I appreciate them trying to build out the world of the nerds, especially more organically than they did at that nativity scene where they just threw like 40 fucking people on screen. So I like that. But I think in doing so, you lose the heart of what was great about these sketches, which is the relationship and the back and forth between Lisa and Todd, and a little bit to like their family of the Mrs. Loopner. So you've become so used to seeing that and wanting to see that when you expand it, you lose it. I mean, you lose it because so much of it is happening before Todd shows up, and then even when Todd comes in, they're reacting with other people. I thought it was fun to bring Harry into this world, and I was excited to see Harry Shearer as a nerd, so that was fun. But I think at the end of the day, this sketch, to me, it got too bogged down in the details. It got too complicated. Like what was happening, and there was a mooning, and I have photos, and there's this, and there's that. Like it was so basic level usually with Lisa and Todd and them riffing on each other that this got a little too complicated. And you lost the charm of it for me.
They did make it kind of complicated. I get what you're saying there. I just really enjoyed the playing with everyone. You did have that moment at the end between Todd and Lisa, and that felt like it could have been a little more fleshed out. And
it's
then
also a little weird when he bends her over his knee and gives her rear noogies or noogies from behind or whatever, and he starts
right. Well, right, because
trying to figure out how to say pounding her ass without saying it poorly, but he's like banging her bum with her with his hand for his rear noogies or backdoor noogies or whatever he called them. Backdoor noogies, I think.
Right. It was fun after the sketch was over, and then the camera pulls out and you see the crowd. Like Bill and Gilda were fooling around.
Yeah,
like, I think she kicked him at one point. Like it was, they were having fun.
But as we've been talking about, lead off with this.
Right.
This is what you want. Like this is what the crowd wants. You're not going to have a host. You're focusing on your cast.
Right.
Should have thrown that out there.
Oh well. I still enjoyed it. It
was fun. It was fun to see. You know what it was? Because we haven't seen something like this in so many weeks. It was that like nostalgic, the thing the thing you're comfortable with, and at this point, you just want something that can deliver, and it did. It delivered well.
Right. Yeah. Well, something we know and something we're maybe comfortable with is our next piece. Lorraine introduces Paul Simon and James Taylor, and they sing 3 songs: Kathy's Clown, Sunny Skies, and Take Me to the Mardi Gras.
I am going to be of no help during this portion of the show because all I could comment on was the fact that my first note is, oh my God, JT is sitting on a stool and he is taller than Paul Simon standing.
Paul Simon's
and
also,
I pretty much this is pretty much my thread throughout the all three songs. I'm sorry. I couldn't get away from this. You do notice James Taylor does not stand once this entire performance. Guarantee you that was in the contract. Guarantee you that was part of the deal.
Was it in the contract, or was it just...
He was not allowed to stand. Nope.
Or was it the camera framing? They were like, look, James, if you're going to stand, we're only going to see your torso.
Oh, no. That was Paul Simon being like, you are not standing, sir. You will sit on that stool the entire time.
I don't know if you know this, Brad, but I'm not a huge Paul Simon fan.
Get the what?
Yeah. Yep. Not a huge James Taylor fan either. This wasn't really my cup of tea. But I will say, I was listening to this first song and I felt like the harmonizing was not great. And it
they did not rehearse this at all.
No.
No.
It left me wanting...
This is not Simon and Garfunkel. This is Simon and some other dude. Yes. The other dude just happens to be James Taylor. Which can I say my only real note on this song? God damn, JT has a great voice.
He does.
He does.
My only note for all 3 songs was harmonizing is not great. Garfunkel deserves more credit for carrying Paul Simon all those years.
You know what else is not too great? Guitar tuning.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
The whole
I feel
thing,
like you know this better than me.
Off.
But
yeah. No, it didn't. Everything seemed a bit off. Maybe they just ran in off the street with cold guitars and unrehearsed songs.
They're like, you like the Everly Brothers, right? Yeah, me too. Great. You know Kathy's Clown? Yes, let's fucking do it. I don't need to rehearse it. I played it a bajillion times. Let's go.
Yeah.
What key is this in? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was also interesting to see Paul Simon playing an electric guitar. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Something different.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, didn't save it for me.
I didn't know this song. I didn't know the first one.
I didn't either. No.
I feel like this is like a true Everly Brothers fan song. Like I know Wake Up Little Susie, which I feel like everyone does.
Yeah.
So these guys are like, we get it. You know that song. This is what the real Everly Brothers fans know. And we're going to play this. So then they move on to Sunny Skies, which is a JT song. And keeping with my notes, of course it is, Paul Simon moves and sits on the stool. I'm pretty certain he's taller now than when he was standing.
I think he was. Yeah.
Again, only note for this song. Sorry.
That's all right. I already read you my note for the songs.
Yeah. I can say it's a deep cut off Sweet Baby James Taylor album, but other than that, I got nothing else.
And then they play Take Me to the Mardi Gras.
Yet another tune off the Ryman Simon album, of course. I think the guys played half the album by this point on SNL.
At least half. Yeah.
At least. He loves that album.
He does. This is the 100th show, and I believe it's Paul Simon's 35th appearance.
Buck Henry makes that joke on the season finale.
Oh, does he?
I mean, no, about himself, but it's the same joke. He was like, this is the 100th whatever episode of SNL, and it's my 100th and whatever time hosting. Yeah, Take Me to Mardi Gras.
Yep.
Well, I did like when the horn section came out. That was probably my highlight of the three songs. Howard Johnson, Tom Malone, and David Sanborn come out. Which makes sense. You're doing a song about Mardi Gras. They should show up.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the one thing.
And they're always good.
Yeah.
It was fun.
But it's also interesting. It's 1980, right? And these two knuckleheads do three songs, which came out in 1960, 1970, and 1973.
Yes.
Those are the three songs.
I thought that was odd too, because we've been talking this season about how great the musical guests have been, and they've been, people on the either just breaking through or having just broken through or on the verge of they're getting good acts, and this just felt like these are Lauren's buddies that he wants to see, and that's why they're on the show. But
that's fine. Both of them have had quality tunes come out in the last 7 years that they could have played.
Right.
Like, I get the Everly Brothers thing. That's cool. I love, acknowledging your idols. Like, that makes sense. And again, it's not a deep cut. That apparently was a number one song for the Everly Brothers. So I get it. But do that. But if you're going to play your own songs, play something a bit either more frequent or more enjoyable. I don't know. Whatever. Ugh.
Let's move past that and head on to Weekend Update.
Did I mention how short Paul Simon was? Because that was really the point of my whole take. Those three songs.
Got it. Noted. All right. So Weekend Update this week. We start off with just a string of jokes. Gerald Ford, some doctor of Scarsdale diet, Marshall Tito. And then we get commentary from Ralph the Boss Nader.
Speak of cameos you're not expecting.
Exactly. He does his commentary going after big business like Exxon and Chevrolet and Mobil and Ford. And then he brings out a prop. He brings out a replica of a Ford Pinto. So the Ford Pintos had been having problems catching on fire.
Right.
And this one is a table lighter, which was, I felt like you almost burned his eyebrows off when he lit that thing. That flame looked higher than he was expecting.
I felt bad because I felt they really wanted that Pinto joke to be a killer.
Yes.
And it did not go over well at all. I mean, Ralph Nader spent a couple 2 minutes too many on the desk.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to go with it. Like, was it a joke? Was he being serious? It was hard to tell. It's just Ralph Nader. I couldn't, and he went after hot dogs again. He had the hot dog line about rat decrements, and I was like, he's recycling his old material. And it was just a really long piece, especially for a guy who's just not inherently funny. Like, I liked seeing Ralph Nader. I was like, oh, great, let's see what he's got to say. It was a little too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it
and
just
then
felt long.
That Pinto joke didn't hit, which was a bummer. I legitimately felt bad. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Because I feel in the construct, it's all there. Like, in the hands of someone else, that joke might have hit. No, but the Pinto joke when he hits...
Right.
I think it could have hit in the right hands. Unfortunately, he's not the guy.
I think yes, but I think it also was just that it took so long to get there that the crowd was like, all right, let's get back to Bill and Jane. When we did get back to Bill and Jane, she tells a story about Walter Cronkite.
The butterflies beat Walter senseless with their flapping wings and then made their escape down an air conditioning duct. Walter was then taken to a nearby hospital.
Jane, that's not true now, is it?
Yeah, it is. It just came over the wire a couple of seconds ago.
Jane, come on now.
Okay, Bill. I just thought that he might get kind of mad and call up, and then maybe we could talk to him, and then he might ask to see me, and
You'll do anything to get into that old geezer's pants, won't you?
That back and forth was great. It was really fun to see the two of them go back and forth.
They were so good together. And she was, I mean, again, how great is Jane? But just the way she reacted to him calling her out on it, she was like delighted and surprised. And it was great. It was like she's playing this young girl who has a crush on an older person. And that's how she got like schoolgirlish when he called her out on it. It was great. And then Bill brings out an Ayatollah Khomeini doll, and it's a mannequin, not a doll. And then Bill's just like trying on he went for this Popeye look and for Santa Claus hat and all these things. And then he finally ends up on a lampshade.
I wanted to like this, but
I agree.
Like this feels like this is Bill's wheelhouse, but I felt he was holding back. Like either he was holding back, or at one point I also then felt maybe they were just telling him to speed through it, because he didn't have time to enjoy it and sink his teeth into it. It was literally like, here's a hat, here's a hat, here's a hat, here's a hat.
Exactly. Yeah, I felt like it was rushed for time or something, because it really was just he would grab a hat and then
like he didn't know what to do with it.
On and off.
Grabbed it, put it on his head. Oh, this didn't work. Dropped it off, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
right.
I did like the Jake and Elwood shout out. He put on glasses and hat, and he's like, oh, but. Which I probably think was because John was there is the reason why he put that out there. But yeah, I wish this would have been a little better.
Yeah. Yeah. It did feel rushed. And like, if you gave him time to play with it, maybe fewer hats and another minute. Take a minute from Ralph Nader and give it to Bill with fewer hats. And I think it would have been good.
Because there was a moment at the end. He's like, oh, you crazy animal. And he kind of slid into that Bill character that you thought he would have done during this, but he didn't.
Right.
But if you want characters, we got one for you.
Yeah, we get another recurring character. Rosanna Dana comes back. This time she gets a letter from Mrs. Richard Fader.
Mrs. Richard Fader of Fort Lee, New Jersey writes in and says, Dear Rosanna Dana, I want to breastfeed my baby, but I'm not sure how you do it. Which breast do I use? How do I get the milk to be the right temperature? Do I have to heat up my breast? Do I have to sterilize my nipple? When I'm done, do I have to put my breast back in the refrigerator? And if I eat a Hershey bar, will my breast make chocolate milk? Mrs. Fader, I didn't think it was possible, but you're just as stupid as your husband.
And then she goes on to talk about natural beauty, and she saw Bo Derek, who sneezed and had a nose hair, and typical Roseanne. It's like all circular. It goes down to her talking about a song that her cousin Carlos Santana Roseanne wrote.
I do love those made up names.
Yeah. That was fun. I feel like we haven't seen Roseanne in a while.
We have not, no. And yeah, we only get one more, so she's on her way out. This is, I think, the 16th and next to last time we see her. And I agree. It was, honestly, to what you just said, it was a welcome return after what we've seen the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Again, like, where's Gilda? Where's her characters? Like, we don't need it every week, but something somewhere in there. And I enjoyed this because we hadn't seen it in so long.
Yeah, I agree. Fun. And that's the end of Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they crammed a lot in this Weekend Update, but it didn't feel like a long Weekend Update.
Oh, see, I would argue I thought it did feel long because they had 3 long pieces. I felt because of her and Bill's piece and Nader's piece, which was very long.
Yeah.
It did feel like a long Weekend Update to me. Yeah.
I just felt like they didn't have a lot of jokes, and what they did have were quick punches, and it just kept it moving for me. But
yeah.
Well, our first sketch back after Weekend Update is a medieval band rehearsing. So it's Bill and Paul again, and Harry Shearer with James Taylor and Tom Malone as the band.
Yes.
Bill is the drummer for the band, and he cannot keep 4/4 time, basically is what it comes down to. And Paul and Harry start yelling at him about it, especially Paul. And they keep using the word flogging instead of dropping the F-bomb until eventually, and this is the part I think you mentioned, this is like a historic moment in the show, right? Where Paul accidentally says fucking.
If it weren't for you, that crowd at the Festival of Jazz would never remember us. It was the drumming, and it was your drummers. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I was inspired, We were all drinking mead, and feasting, and it just happened, Not like this flogging, struggling.
But you can't flog and play on flogging mead all the time.
But I play better when I play on flogging mead all the time.
You just think you play better, but you don't play better. It throws the whole fucking timing off.
Well, try on your flogging timing, Hilton Scrain. You're not the greatest piper in the world either.
Yeah. And it wasn't really caught by many people. It didn't seem like.
Because he's speaking with an accent, and you've been hearing flogging, and he rolls through it pretty quick. So
he does.
Yeah, you don't catch it right off the bat.
Right. And he doesn't make a big deal of it. And none of the other performers do either.
No.
They just keep going through with it. But it is the first time anyone says fucking on SNL. So there we go. And then eventually they're like trying to teach Bill how to do 4/4 time. Lorraine comes out and introduces Eleanor of Gaunt. And Miss Eleanor of Gaunt comes out, played by John. And I'll be honest, I could not understand what John was saying.
No, I could not either.
Okay, good. And the band starts playing for Eleanor of Gaunt, and Bill can't keep time, so John goes over, and it's just John being John. He's going to show him how to do it, and he starts hitting everyone with the mallet.
Okay. Where to start on this? Well, so you know where this came from, the sketch. Did you know where the sketch came from?
No, I know nothing about this.
So there's an infamous tape. You know the band The Trogs who sing Wild Thing?
Yeah, sure.
So there was an infamous studio tape that had leaked of them rehearsing, which is basically this sketch, which they're yelling at each other, and every other word is fucking, you can't keep the fucking beat. Like, you're fucking doing it wrong. You did it right in the beginning. What are you fucking doing? And Paul Shaffer has said that Franken and Davis had the idea to take that tape and transcribe it into like a medieval take on of it, which kind of makes sense. They're Theodoric of York mentality.
Yep.
So that's what this is based on. It's based on this actual audio, and you can find it's on YouTube. It's pretty funny, them yelling at each other. I think this is also the same tape that, and I only remembered it because when we talked about Spinal Tap recently, that tape was also an inspiration for the scene in Spinal Tap when the band breaks up while they're in the studio rehearsing with each other.
Okay.
Like, so I don't know if Harry wrote this or he, had a part of it, or he just remembered this and then it came over to Spinal Tap when they did Spinal Tap. So that's where this came from. It's this idea of an actual event that happened. And then Paul Shaffer has described this as a medieval dramatization of the famous underground tape of them arguing with each other. So I don't know, Paul may have had a hand in writing this too. His old band used to open up for the Trogs back in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So they knew each other. So there's a lot of connections here. But basically that was the idea, is that we're gonna recreate this scene in medieval times and replace fucking with flogging.
Right.
And everyone must have really liked it because Paul Shaffer has written that after the dress rehearsal, before they went live, Al Franken came up to him and said, it's going great. Just throw in as many floggings as you want. And so Paul Shaffer obviously just lets loose, and he's just going on and on and on. So obviously he just misses it one time and throws in an F-bomb. So that's where you get it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of that makes this sketch any better. It's like a really inside baseball sketch because, again, this is 1980.
Right.
I don't know how well like bootleg studio recordings are circulating at the time. It's not like now where you go on YouTube and type something in, you can get it. You know what I mean? Right. So how many people are going to get this reference that they're doing? But I mean, this sketch, as we said, this is a sketch that has become famous for really just one reason, of Paul. The first time we get the F-bomb on SNL.
Yeah.
And you can see it. He says it and then he kind of turns off camera. And then when he turns back, you can see him looking off camera like, oh, what did I do? What happened? Like, what? Oh,
right.
Like, am I in trouble? Like, this has never happened before. No one's said fuck on live television before, I guess. And Paul has a funny line. He says, he writes in his book, he writes, when the sketch finished, he went over to Lauren and apologized. He was so sorry. He goes, I'm sorry, I fucked up. To which Lauren allegedly replied, you should have flogged up. Which is really funny if it's true.
Right. Big asterisk there. But yeah, that's really funny if it's true.
And then, I don't know. It's a weird cameo for John, especially since when he was on the show, we talked about how much he hated being in drag. And his most prominent moment on this episode is coming back in drag. And at that point, this was a long sketch.
Yeah.
And then he sits down to play with them.
Right.
And it keeps going, which I could get because John was a drummer when he was in high school. He started out as a drummer. So I could see him maybe like, I'll take Bill's spot and be the drummer. And then it's funny. Him and Bill kind of break a little bit. As you mentioned, he takes the drum stick. He starts hitting everybody, starts hitting Bill. And you can see the two of them almost breaking.
Yeah.
And then, of course, John has to mug the camera as the sketch ends and they go out.
Of course.
It's rough, though. I mean, I don't know, like, if Paul Shaffer doesn't say fuck in this sketch, I don't know if anyone's ever talking about this sketch again.
I don't think so. Maybe the Trogs. Well, we get out of that sketch finally.
Thankfully.
And we go to a talk show. The talk show is Talk or Die, the action talk show, hosted by Michael Palin.
Did you like this?
Of course I did.
I thought the Michael Palin of it would turn you in. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Michael Palin plays Dirk Savage, the host of the show.
Great name. Great name. Second only to Joan
name.
Face.
Yeah. His guests are Garrett and Jane. Garrett plays Julian Carver and Jane plays Rula Lenska. And the whole premise of this talk show is it's an action talk show. So it's not just the three of them talking. There's action that happens. So at first we see Garrett going to answer a question and there's a giant tarantula crawling over his shoulder.
Can I just say, not the kind of joke to play on Garrett. At someone in his state of mind, not the kind of joke to put on him. Unfair. Very unfair.
It was funny. And Michael, he asks Jane for a hairbrush, I believe. And then he kills the tarantula and then stomps on it.
And Garrett continues to twitch throughout the sketch, like, what's on my shoulder? And I'm not sure if that was acting or not.
It looked a little too real for Garrett's
That's what I'm
acting.
saying. It's unfair to the man.
So Michael is asking them questions back and forth, and then he tells them both to duck at one moment, and they get shot at. So it's like all of this action movie stuff. And then Garrett pulls a gun, and it turns out that he's there to kill Jane's character. And Michael tries to wrestle the gun away from him. And then a bear comes out and attacks Garrett.
That's when the bear comes out. Yes. And then Michael stabs him in the head.
Yes.
I don't have many notes in this, but one of my notes is, oh my God, he stabbed him in the head. Michael Palin stabs this bear repeatedly in the head.
It's action, baby. It's an action talk show, man. This was so crazy and so Michael Palin really was my take on it. Or I was just like, oh, this is so much fun. I love when Michael Palin gets to do his thing.
I didn't know what to say about it. I actually even wrote, it almost felt like a Brian McConaughey sketch. It was so out there. Of like a talk show and an action survival thing. Like, why is this all happening in the same milieu? Yeah. Oh my God, I was so confused.
Yeah. It's absurd.
It makes no sense.
No.
It makes no sense. And yeah, Michael Palin is a great vehicle to run this through.
Yeah. And he was a great cameo to see.
Yes.
I was not expecting to see him. And when I did, I got very excited.
And fitting. It was like we were just saying, like a fitting cameo. Like no one else would have pulled this off.
No. They couldn't have. This is a total Michael Palin piece. I thought Jane was very good in the voice. Like she didn't have a lot to do again, but like she had a voice for this character and she had this character and she knew it.
Yeah, she did it well. This was like a person, an actual person. This woman who was like a British actress at the time, who apparently was big in Britain, but in the US was only doing commercials. But the whole point of these commercials is she was super famous, but no one knew who the hell she was. So this was actually like even a running joke on Carson. Like Johnny Carson was making jokes about this woman, and then now SNL. So yeah, Jane does a really good job. And at the end, isn't she's like, I got to go. I have a commercial to do. I have to leave and do a commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know if I liked it or not. That's why I was wondering what your take was. Because when I saw Michael Palin, I was like, okay, Gary's going to like this.
Yeah. And I did. I liked the idea that it wasn't just a normal talk show. It was like there's action here and it's like an action film, but it's a talk show setting. And it was just the absurdity of that I really enjoyed. And then when the bear comes on at the end.
The fucking bear. Oh my, what the hell was this bear?
I don't know, but I loved it. We need more bears in sketches.
I'll tell you what I loved. I legitimately loved the next sketch.
As soon as the next sketch started, first person we see on camera is Zweibel. Right. So I'm totally in.
Here's my first note. Zweibel, exclamation point. Gary must like this.
Yes, it's true. I go from this Michael Palin sketch with a bear to seeing Zweibel on camera. And I'm like, I'm all in on this episode all of a sudden. So,
and we should say Zweibel is just strolling across home base, the subway set, looking lost.
Yep. And we see Garrett and Peter Aykroyd trying to get money from Zweibel. And they look like two, winos. And Bill comes on. So now it's the three of them and they're all winos and Bill's kind of honker.
Bill's doing honker. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're winos, but they're winos who are particular about the kind of wine that they're drinking.
Hey. What you got there, man? What you got?
Curtis, I have here one of the finest examples of a 1956 Montrachet that you will ever try.
A white Burgundy, man? You blew that money on a white Burgundy? You could have gotten a rare Bordeaux for that money, man. I know that wine, man. That's unbalanced and inferior, man.
Huh? It's a good wine, okay? It's intense, dry, yet luscious. Very good. Take a swig. You're going to be very pleased.
Delicate bouquet. Light, fruity. Pretty complex, man. But not quite developed yet, not quite developed yet.
Curtis, what can you expect from the ground crew figures in 56? They had a lot of rain, if you remember.
Right.
It's still an excellent buy, though. $90 for this bottle.
No,
It's a good
no,
buy.
I think it started to decline. Should have caught it a couple of years ago.
It's written so smart. It's really funny when Bill's talking about the notes and what it does, and he hands it to Garrett, and Garrett's like, I don't know, and it's very funny.
It's really good. And I just like the whole concept of this, that these are three drunk winos who are arguing about how good the wine needs to be for them.
Garrett and Peter would combine their money to buy a really great, like 58 Beaujolais or something like that. And then there's a really great part when the three of them are all together and this is our wine. Like, well, where do we go to eat? And they're trying to figure out which slop kitchen they're going to go. Yes. And they're arguing because Garrett doesn't like any of the places that can pair with a white wine. Like, none of this will pair with a white wine. I can't go there. It's so funny.
It really is. And then there's a twist to this at the end because Senator Moynihan comes back on. Moynihan.
Garrett starts pointing to the front of the stage and the camera pulls back and you see Moynihan in a spotlight. Yeah.
And he's there pitching New York State wines. And the three of them approach him from behind and he has a bottle of wine and Garrett takes it. So he does this pitch for New York State wines and you think it's like, oh, these guys are going to approve. Garrett takes a sip and spits it out.
Right.
And he's like, "Bah."
Yes.
I thought this was a lot of fun.
I like this sketch. I really liked it. It's really funny. Unsuspecting. It's so unsuspecting when you see the three of them. And all three of them, I think, deliver great performances. They all hugely commit to this bit. And they do a great job. Yeah. It's just super, super funny. It's a great little sketch. And I love when we get these seasons. Like, they're so few and far between.
Yeah.
And this is another one which it felt like a Second City sketch or a black box theater because they're on home base. So there's literally no set. It's just the three of them performing to the crowd. And it gave it that theater troupe feel that I really loved. And I really liked this sketch. Really fun.
They were all, like you said, they were all very good. This is probably the best thing we've seen Peter Ackroyd do aside from Java Junkie.
I was going to say Java Junkie, but yes, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Garrett was very strong in this.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill's Bill. It was just really well. You're right. It was very well written, very well performed.
Very well. I wish I knew who wrote this because this is so funny hearing the words out of these characters' mouths.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. And now at this point of the night, I'm feeling good myself because I just had two really good sketches that I liked and I thought were very good.
And it's not a bad episode. Overall, this has been a better episode that we've had in recent times. So yes, I've been enjoying it and I agree with you. The last one was totally bizarre, but was fun. And then this is just yes, this is what you want to see.
Yeah. Well, Gilda comes on and this is the last time we see Gilda tonight. And she introduces member of the band, David Sanborn, who comes on and plays Anything You Want.
Yeah, he was in the SNL band. He had his own album that came out earlier that month, his 5th album. So he's an accomplished musician at this point. He used to be in the Paul Butterfield Blues Band.
Oh, really?
You know that? Yeah, played Woodstock with him. Yeah.
Oh.
He is also the guy who plays the sax on Bowie's Young Americans.
I did know that.
This is a dude who's been around. So I don't know how he ended up in the SNL band this season.
That was going to be my next question.
This was probably in his contract of I'll be in the SNL band. I'm going to pull a Howard Johnson a la Gravity, and I'm going to get a guest shot as a musical guest. So, yeah. I mean, he's good. He's
very good. Our next bit is another talk show. We're going back to the David Susskind show. Is this our second or third time?
Third. We're 1 for 2 so far on these. We're 1 for 2.
Okay. So this is Bill as David Susskind, and he's, again, I like this concept. He's interviewing people who underwent plastic surgery to look like celebrities.
Off to a good start.
Yes. And first, he introduces Harry, who has undergone surgeries to look like Elvis, and his
how many? It's like 200 and some, right?
Yeah, it's hundreds of surgeries. And his line is, "I'm sorry to say this, but you still don't look like Elvis."
Right.
And then Harry holds up his before picture, and it's a before picture of Rod Stewart. So he went from being Rod Stewart to being Harry Shearer.
Laughed out loud. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
They put the picture of Rod Stewart. I laughed out loud.
I did too.
I'm sorry. It was funny.
It was very funny. And then he turns. So one of my favorite bits in this whole talk show is Bill, as David Susskind, has two people on either side of him that he's interviewing, and he jumps back and forth in the chair very awkwardly and noisily to talk.
Does he
from
do it
one
here
side to the other.
the first time?
Yeah, this is when but he does it subtly at first.
Okay, because it took me a while to notice it, because by the end I'm like, Bill is having a lot of fun in that chair, and it is
really
hilarious watching him do it. I didn't notice it at this point.
Yeah. Next, he talks to Jane, who has done a lot of plastic surgery to look like Dolly Parton, and she looks like Dolly Parton, but she has this gravelly voice, which I really enjoyed. And he's like, "Oh, do you sing as Dolly Parton?" She's like, "No, I lip sync." That was good.
This is one back in the early days of highlight reels.
Yeah.
This clip was always in there. Her line of, "Mr. Susskind, I had sections of my buttocks implanted in my breasts." That was a line I would hear for years watching the old school highlight reels. I feel
really.
Like. Oh, no, maybe I'm wrong. I remember that line a lot. And it was funny because when we came in, and when you come in, you think Jane's doing her Dolly Parton impression again.
Right.
So it was really funny when they finally get into the meat of what the sketch is about, that she's not Dolly Parton, but a Dolly Parton impersonator. It was really funny.
Yeah. That was good. And then he adjusts himself back, and now he talks to someone who has someone who has undergone many plastic surgeries to look like Donny Osmond. This is our second Osmond joke of the night, by the way. And this time it's Tom Davis, who looks like Tom Davis, but just has all of these scars all over his face because he couldn't afford the good plastic surgery. So he went to the plastic surgery school and had them do it on the cheap.
He went cheap. Yep.
And
there's one thing I've learned: spend the money.
Yeah. And the last person he talks to is someone who looks like Paul Simon. So it is Paul Simon.
Go.
He's
Bring
our cameo
Paul.
in this sketch. And he says, "What's your deal?" basically. And Paul Simon's like, "Well, I've always looked like Paul Simon, but I used
How
to
many
be
surgeries have you had?"
Right.
0. I've always looked like Paul Simon.
Right. I've had 0 plastic surgery.
Right.
I've always looked like Paul Simon, but I was 6'7". So I've had 17 inches removed from my legs.
And he pulls up his jeans and shows a scar above his knee where they basically cut his knees. And I was like, a height joke. I love it.
Yes.
Gary, you have to like Paul Simon a little bit better right now.
Yes. Absolutely. I thought my problems with Paul Simon are not when he's in sketches, because like the basketball movie, he was great. As the turkey in the monologue, he was great. I thought he was excellent in this. I thought it was great that he called out, "I had 17 inches removed." That's insane.
They played the height joke.
Funny.
It was great. And then they ask him, "Are there any like cons or whatever of being Paul Simon?" He goes, "Well, I just get tired of people asking me, why did you and Art Garfunkel break up?"
Yes.
He's like, "I don't know. If I ever met the real Paul Simon, I'd ask him, because I like Art Garfunkel. What happened between you two?"
I thought this was a lot of fun.
I like they went back to the Garfunkel jokes, but he wasn't a dick about it.
Yes.
I really like that.
Agreed. Because he was playing someone else. He wasn't playing Paul Simon. This was great. I think this is definitely my favorite David Susskind sketch.
Oh, no. The Mother's Day one is still.
The Mother's. Yeah. Okay, you're right. I
It's
forgot
a
that was
decent
David
sketch.
Susskind,
I don't know if
but
I'd go great. It's a decent sketch. I think the characters are all good, and everyone, including Paul Simon, does a really, really good job with their characters.
Yes, they do.
And what I really appreciated for season 5 is that they delivered on the premise, which is something we've complained about a lot this year. So I got to give them credit. But like, here's your premise, and they actually really executed it well. It's fun. It was a really good sketch. And it wasn't until I think he got back to Paul, or when he finally got to Paul Simon, I noticed Bill hopping back and back from seat to seat. Like,
he was enjoying it.
It was fun.
And that's it. That's the show. We go to good nights, and Lauren's on stage with Michael O'Donoghue.
Again, last time we'll see him this year.
There are no good nights. He doesn't say anything because
there's nothing.
Awkward as ever. No one says a thing.
Just applause and credits.
Yeah. I thought for a show not having a host and being full of cameos, I thought it was a pretty strong show all in all, especially for season 5.
Yes, for season 5. It felt like a weird episode to me, and I think only because you knew it was 100, and it feels like they made a point to make it 100, and that they didn't bring in a host. You just didn't know what you were going to get. You know, it's not an anniversary show, or what we expect an anniversary show to be. So it was just kind of odd in that aspect.
Yeah, but I liked it because I felt like they brought back all of these hosts, these former hosts, and they all had something to do, and they all have very different sensibilities. Like Ralph Nader is very different from Michael Palin, is very different from, well, Carrie Fisher didn't really do anything, but, seeing Senator Moynihan there for whatever reason, and I don't know. I just liked how it kind of showed the different sides of the show and the potential that they have.
It was kind of odd, too, because there wasn't like really a rhyme or reason of who came in and contributed what to what sketches. Like you said, Michael Palin was a host. He anchored a sketch. But that was really the only time a cameo person anchored something. Everybody, it was like it was a bit here, maybe a bit there, something odd. And what I would have liked to have seen for me, since you don't have a host that you're focusing the show on, it would have been nice to give each cast member something to shine, a spotlight. Like, where was Lorraine this episode?
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
She was a bit player all night.
Yeah.
And now we've talked about Lorraine in season 5 and what was going on. So maybe she wasn't, I don't know. Personally, I don't think she looked that great in the nerd sketch. It was kind of what she was going through. But like, and she's also been one, she said she didn't like to do recurring characters a lot. So maybe she didn't want to do a Sherry or something. But like O'Donoghue's there. You know what would have been really great to highlight the first 5 seasons? Have Lorraine do a solo to camera that O'Donoghue wrote. One of those old school classics. Like that would have been a great nod to the show. And Michael might not have done it. Who knows? But like that would have been great to show her. We didn't need Ralph Nader. Give Chico something. Like give Garrett a Chico. You know what I mean? Give everybody a little something. If you're not going to have a host and celebrate like an amazing get, like for your 100th episode, here's Jack Nicholson. No, it's just the show. We're going to highlight the show. Then highlight the show. And I feel like they didn't do that enough. If that's what they were going for. And maybe they weren't. Maybe they're just going to do a random show. It just happened to be on 100, whatever.
No, I don't think that. I mean, I think that was planned to not have a host for the 100th show.
Right. So then you're obviously going to focus on the cast. And you gave Bill something. You gave, Gilda a few things. Jane's got updates. She did her thing. I mean, unfortunately, she had nothing really to hang her hat on prior to that. She doesn't have any characters, but she did what she had to do well.
Right.
But Lorraine's got stuff. Like, give Lorraine something. Give Garrett something. Like, Garrett's done solos. He's like that. Garrett didn't sing. Like, Garrett, do a sketch where Garrett sings. Do something that acknowledges. Yeah. But that's just nitpicking. I agree with you overall. It is a fun episode. There is some fun things in there. There's also some shit things in there. Fucking Best Leprechaun or Biggest Leprechaun sucks. Medieval Band not that great. And again, like I said, if Paul didn't drop the F-bomb, we'd never talk about it again.
Right.
So, uneven. It's uneven, I would say.
I think that's true, yeah. Well, Brad, what are your best bits?
Vintage winos. Easy. Hands down. Easiest thing.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you said that. My two, because I would have had to say that. But you said that.
So Palin. You're gonna
yeah. Talk or Die. Yeah. And also the David Susskind show. I thought that was really good. I really liked that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
And it's all the cast and Paul Simon, who may as well be a cast member at this point. I was pleasantly surprised by the 100th episode.
Coming after what came before it? Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that was a surprise. It does give us hope for the future.
It does. We're rounding third. Things are looking up. Come on, baby.
That's right. Next week on the early years of SNL, we're talking about season 5, episode 15, with hosts Richard Benjamin and Paula Prentice.
Hosts? Host, you say?
Hosts, plural. We went from 0 to 2.
We should do something good for that one.
A married couple.
Ah.
And musical guest, The Grateful Dead.
Nice.
Until then, good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. Look for us on social media everywhere at NR4PT Project. And please drop us a line to let us know what you think of the shows, and frankly, because we're kind of lonely, at nr4ptproject@gmail.com. The Not Ready for Primetime Project team includes Brad Robinson and Gary Seath. Please remember to rate and review wherever you watch and or listen to the show.
You should find the Trogs tape. It is very funny. Like the actual tape. It's really funny. It's on YouTube of the Trogs yelling at each other. Because it's almost like some of it's word for word. Like, you fucking had it. You had it to start with. You had it in the beginning. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you not know how to do it? And they're just yelling at each other stupidly. It's really great.
We haven't got 6 producers.
Yes, we have. If we had one producer here tonight, we'd get it right. How he would get it the way he thinks he should be. But because we haven't got a producer, we're all fucking pitching in ideas.
Yeah, well, we always do
most
that.
of them are wrong, you know.
Not necessarily. They're not necessarily wrong.
But we're trying. And it makes his life fucking hell. You have one producer that's talking great. But we haven't got a producer. We were supposed to have a fucking producer. But we haven't got one.
Yeah.
So
this is what he's been going fucking wrong. You've got to have a fucking bloke that says, I've got a fucking sound in here that's fucking great. Come in here and have a fucking listen to it. And you come in here and it's probably a different fucking tune nearly. But if it's fucking good, yeah, that's it.
We didn't even fucking get a say in it. It was fucking wham, it was in the can. Regardless, you reckon that was bad? Fuck me, he used to, one take, that's it, finished. We said, and you never had a fucking say, and it was out. As weak and fucking insipid you used to think, well, fucking out.
We thought With a Girl Like You was fucking terrible. And we said, let's go in and do it again. And that was the only fucking time he let us fucking
have our way.
And could we get anything fucking better?
No.
Fucking the first thing he fucking did.
All fucking day.
Was
we were in there at 9 o'clock. We didn't come out until like 3 o'clock the next fucking morning. And they had Mick Jagger, you name them, they were fucking in there to try and make it better.
Anyway,
and
Chris is sitting out there wondering what he's going to do. Now, what are we going to do?
It was sounding good. But just, Ronnie, just listen for a sec.
All fucking night, but I just cannot feel it any other way than what I've been fucking doing it.
You have played it tonight.
You better fucking forget it, because I ain't going to be able to do it. I'll tell you that now. I cannot fucking do it. I don't know, because if that's the case, then we should fucking find out before we ever get to the fucking studio that we want to fucking do that, and that, because we've been doing it with everything.
It's easy, you've done it.
We go fucking week, it's been going down. You know, but don't expect fucking miracles just like that, Reg. It's fucking in there, embedded in there. I can't fucking hear it any other way but that.
But you have done it. You did it. It is exactly the same rhythm as you were playing before. It's
Oh, different drums. That's all. You doing da-ba-da-ba, boom-boom-ba. Play da-da-da-da-da-cha. No more beats. Just play da-da-da-da-da-cha on whatever drums you were playing on originally. How you got it embedded in.
Yeah, all right.
And then just start moving it about with it.
What you were doing is exactly the same as what you were doing originally.
Only you were doing it.
I know.
And you did it. And you did it. You went.
You can say that all fucking night, but you won't listen.
We could keep on trying and then you can get it.
Yeah, well just shut your fucking mouth for 5 minutes and give me a fucking chance to do it. Don't keep fucking rocking down that fucking microphone. Did it there. Fuck me, Reg. Just fuck off.
You
in
fucking
there.
think, man. We're not.
And just keep going fucking through it. Don't just keep saying, oh yeah, but that ain't right. I know it ain't fucking right. I can fucking hear it ain't right, you cunt. Wow, fuck me, you
I
say.
can hear it's fucking not right too.
I fucking can, and I'm not just playing it. So when I fucking hear it in me fucking head, yeah, that's what I gotta fucking do, then I'll do it. You big pranny.
Listen, we keep on playing it and just
fucking hell.
When you think it's right.
Okay, right. Can you sing on? Because then we'll know where we are until we all change it.
Brad, why do you do this? Do you do this to hurt us?